All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give our praises to Yahawah, by Hashem Yahawashi, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors there, the prosecute meals, 20 times truth and rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation, ackment there. Scared abroad to the four corner of earth. That's serving the truth and true sincerity. Should I say Shalom? This is Brandon Abba. Welcome to another video in the spirit. And the top of this video is going to be about GMS preaches in and out of season. And what sparked this video topic was there was a video that came up, I guess you could say social media. This Jake was recording, brothers out there in Chicago, doing the work. And, it was snowing, this weekend, we got a little snow up here in Michigan. It looked like they got some snow out there in Chicago. Like it was snowing, very heavily, and Jake was like, saying, they out there still, they don't take no breaks. They out there still preaching, and that's what we do over here in GMS, man. We do the work, in season and out of season. We don't take no breaks. We don't take no days off, man. We in there every weekend and week out. The Apostle Tahar just recently gave a decree saying if it's blistering cold out there that brothers don't have to go out, but that's gonna be up to the heads, and all of that. We go out still, because we're gonna do the work, man. That's the difference between us and these other camps, man. We're gonna be out there, regardless of the weather, man. We're gonna be out there, if it's raining, snowing, windy, super hot, we're gonna be out there doing the work, because that's what we're commanded to do. To feed the lost sheep of Israel, and the sheep has to be fed. We can't afford to take no time off, man. I remember when brothers, because I came in after that pandemic had happened. I came in right after they had opened everything back up here in Michigan, at least. But I remember when brothers talk about that 2020 period, when they wasn't going out, and they finally went back out. They said that how people was wondering, damn, where was y'all at? Look for brothers, because they so used to brothers being out there every weekend, So yeah, they see that, and they probably be like, damn, why are they out there? But we just doing the Lord's work. But it's gonna come a time when we not gonna be out there, and then y'all gonna be what? Y'all gonna be same thing, eyebrows raised, curious, where they at? But once you realize that we're not coming back, that we not popping up back on the scene on that level, then it's going to seek in. Oh, damn, what's really going on? But I'm going to grab this. This is 2 Timothy 4:2. It says, preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Yeah. And that's what we're supposed to do, man. Preach the word in season and out of season. You got some camps that if it's a little too cold, they don't go out. If it's raining, they don't go out. If it's snowing, they don't go out, man. You gotta go out there. That's what the Lord told us to do. And also us being out here, in this when the weather's like that. What are we doing? It says here in Romans 12:1. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahawah, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto Yahawah, which is your reasonable service. So that's our reasonable service, man. Offering our body as a living sacrifice. That's what we're doing. We go out there on the highways and hedges, man. We're offering our body as a living sacrifice, man. Because any time the brothers is out there, doing the work, that's considered the altar, man. So we out there, making that sacrifice, sacrificing our bodies, man, out there shivering. It be cold, but hey, man, the scripture say, gird up that loins like a man. We deal with it. We go out, we bundle up, we dress up, we have our heated socks, hand warmers, neck warmer, everything we need, and endure it, man. Because we understand that us doing that is being watched, is being recorded. And Yahawah desire that's looked at us laying up treasures for ourselves in heaven. We putting up a treasure in that spiritual bank account, because we're not banking on anything that we're not banking on anything carnal, in this place to deliver us in the times that we're entering into. We're going to rely on Yahawah by Yahawashi. And throughout this time, what have you been doing? Have you been building up a good report in the eyes of Yahawah Yahawashi? You know, have you been building up that spiritual bank account? What have you been putting in your spiritual bank account? I remember that elder, my yum from down south. I believe he's from the Mississippi. That's something he said. You know, when he came up here and visited us, he said, what are you putting in your spiritual bank account? You know, are you making deposits? You know, and how do you make your deposits? By getting up your videos throughout the week, man. By going out there on the highways and byways, man. You know, by studying, you know, by giving time to Yahawashi, man. That's how you make your deposits. So if you're not making frequent deposits, man, then when it's time to cash in or cash out, you're not gonna have a lot in there. So these men that don't go out there a lot, that's not doing videos, man, that's not feeding the sheep, man, you're not making enough deposits. So the Lord ain't gonna have nothing for you, man. He ain't gonna have nothing for you. So yeah, us being out there in season, out season, is part of us offering our body up as a living sacrifice to Yahawashi. And also, I'm gonna grab this. This is 2 Peter 1:10. It says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. Yeah. And that's also what we're doing, man. Giving diligence, man. Why? To make our calling and election sure. Why? Because we're trying to be part of that hopeful elect. Because what? We hope that we are part of that number. We don't know. We know the elect is predestined, but we don't know who the elect is. And so we just hoping to be. That's why what? We give diligence. We go out here and do the work, man. We try to do as much as we can to make sure that we pleasing Yahawashi, so we can make our calling and election sure. I remember the dream that brother had about how the apostles they was dressed in white, and I guess they was up on a mount or something. I can't remember the whole accounts, but you had men coming up to them, and they was giving men the yes and the no, the sign of approval and the sign of disapproval. And I remember he said, concerning some, he said, oh yeah, I knew you was going to be good, or yeah, I was waiting for you, or something like that. Why? Because they see our works, man, and not just, the men that's around us, but Yahawashi, he sees our works, So this thing is just not for no reason, man. It's not just for us to be seen of men. It's for us to be seen of the eyes of Yahawashi. That's the main thing. So when we go out there, when the Lord sees us going out there, when brothers been sick, brothers that been injured, man, all brothers just, going through all type of stuff, brothers still gonna go out there and do the work, man. And that's what we're supposed to do. And that's giving diligent, man. What? To make our calling and election sure. Because what? We want to be saved. Saved from what? From the destruction that's coming to this place. We understand that America is going to be destroyed, man. We understand that. And we don't want to partake in that thermonuclear destruction that's coming to this place, man. That's not going to be a good thing. It's not going to be a good feeling, man. You don't want to go through that, and then as well as in the kingdom, man. You got to be born again in the kingdom because you didn't get it on the first go around, man. And, Salaki about that. Having your head down low. Yeah, we're going to be in the kingdom. We're going to be in our right mind still. But what? Scriptures talk about that in Daniel 12. Some awaken to everlasting contempt, man, because especially if you was in this truth, man, if you was doing the walk and you didn't make it, but why? Because you was playing, or what? You wasn't giving diligence to make your calling and election sure. Then yeah, you're gonna feel a type of way. I could believe you would, man, because you wasn't part of the first fruits, man. So yeah, we gonna be out there because we commanded to. I'm gonna come over here and Salakia. This is Proverbs 1. Salakia. This is Proverbs 1:20. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gate in the city, she uttereth her words, saying, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorn delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Yeah. So he said, wisdom crieth without, she uttered her voice in the streets, man. That's what's going on, man. The true wisdom comes from what? The men of the Lord. And it says, in a chief place of concourse, go to a busy area. You go to a busy area, brothers, wherever it is, wherever state is in, and go to that busy area where there's going to be a lot of what? A buying and selling going on, man. A lot of people walking around moving. You go to that. And then you bring out the wisdom of Yahawashi. You bring out the prophecy, man. You bring out these scriptures, man. And what's the point of doing that? Because what did Yahawashi say? When you go to Luke 14 and 23, it says, and the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house might be filled. Yeah. So we go out there to the highways and hedges to compel them to come in. And who we go out there to compel? The elect, man. Like it says in Jeremiah 16, fishers. We out there fishing for the elect. So we go out there to the highways and hedges, man. We don't just go back and sit inside no room. That's not pushing the message enough, man. Scriptures say thy eyes shall see their teachers. How they gonna see us? From us being out there on the highways and byways, man. And everybody not, there's no excuse. Everybody know the Israelites are, but everybody not going go on to YouTube, man. And look it up. Or may not have ran across it on the social media platform yet. But if they walking around the street and they see us out there, then what? And it sparked them to wake up, then there you go. But that's what we commanded to do, because what? That's how Yahawashi sent out the disciples, man. He sent them out 2 by 2 in twos, man. To do the same thing we're doing now, to compel them to come in. And that's what we're doing, because this is what we're commanded to do. This is our reasonable service, like it says in that Romans 12. So I'm going to grab this and I'm close. I ain't going to make this too long. This is Isaiah 62 and 6. It says, I have set watchmen upon the walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence. It says, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Yeah. Who's that? He. We're not giving this man no rest, man. It says, hold not no peace day nor night. That's why the YouTube is being flooded with videos all throughout the day, man. Day and night, man. Videos is being uploaded back to back, man. Not giving this man no rest, man. Why? Because the Lord has set us up as watchmen. So we on the watch. We constantly watching We constantly watching things that's happening in the world, man. And when we link it up with the scriptures, we bring it out and do a video on it. And it says to keep not silence, man. Give him no rest. So what? That's we go out there on the highways and byways until what? Until we get the order that it's time for us to close up shop. But we're not gonna give this man no rest. So no matter what the weather like, what season it is, nothing. You're going to see the men of GMS out there on the highways and byways doing the Lord's work. And Yahawah desire the men that are out there doing the work in truth and sincerity, they are part of the elect, man. Because our labor is not going to go unrewarded, man. This labor is not in vain, We're not doing this. We're not doing this to seek to please the eyes of men. We're doing this to please Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi. And Lord willing, we're doing enough to get us on them chariots. So that's pretty much it. Lord willing, this video is edifying. I'm going to close out by giving our praises to Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi, by Shem Rakakadash.